So, what does anti-racism mean, full stop? It means to me something, a lifetime of work. It's certainly been something that's flavoured my career, challenging the word itself, the ideologies, and the accompanying social behaviours. So anti-racism is a movement, really. It's a reflex, a bounce back to the theory of racism. I met a poet called John Agard, bless him, amazing. I've managed to work with him a few times now during my career. And he sparked my interest because when I was first born, I was called half-caste. I used to tell my friends at primary school I come from half-caste land. And they're not allowed to go there. And we used to laugh. And then probably when I was 12 years old, because of John Agard's poem, Half-Caste, where he protested about the terminology, I was suddenly referred to as mixed race. So I was like, oh, okay, where are you from? I'm from mixed race, yeah. I went at them, I'll tell you. So I used to joke, and there's all this displaced terminology, half-caste, mixed race. And then when there was the celebration of the commemoration of the abolition of slavery or whatever it was, there was some funding 10, 15 years ago to look at words, at language. And we looked at the term dual heritage, which was fast replacing mixed race. And I wanted to know why. You know, I've had these terms changed all my life. So hang on, before you start change up terms again, explain to me why. Why am I not mixed race? So we looked into the ideology of race, the etymology of where the word come from, the theories behind it. It took me to the study of eugenics and to the birth of the Nazi Party and different things like that. And this ideology of race and genetic difference. So I was a bit more comfortable with the term changing to dual heritage because I have two different heritages in my background. My mother's English, gypsy, Romany gypsy traveller from Newcastle way, going way back, and my dad's Indo-Caribbean from Jamaica. So there's two distinct heritages, not two distinct races. And I always pose the question, if we're from the same human race, how can anyone be racist to anybody else? There are many other forms of hatred, but to use the language of the oppressors that we've got us into this ideology that we're different genetically. I mean, initially, Blumenbach in the 17th century identified 3 races, and those languages still exist, the Caucasian for the white, so on and so forth. And now there's apparently 60 odd, and the term's being used for faith-based races and things like that. So I think that the term race itself is problematic, and we have many other ways to discuss difference. We look at heritage, nationality, culture, ethnicity. But yeah, I kind of a little bit amiss with the term race itself. But yeah, do accept what it stands for, and I join whichever side is, going to look at the term properly. A specific incident in Birmingham's history was I applied to be Poet Laureate when I was starting to dabble with the genre of poetry. Actually, Benjamin Zephaniah's sister phoned me up and asked me to speak to Benjamin. He'd never met me before. And she said, I've seen Richard perform and speak to Benjamin. So that sparked me up to thinking, poetry. So I ended up applying for the Poet Laureateship, and it was to be written on A4 in Queen's English. And I said, what will you get? You can't. So I did them a CD and got a letter back saying they weren't accepting CD submissions at the time, but they understood. So a little bit of waiting around. And then eventually they shortlisted for spoken word as well. So that's when I applied and I became Poet Laureate for the city. And that's when I took it upon myself, or it was put upon myself, to be a guardian of words, a consultant for words. You know, things were happening in the news, they were asking the Poet Laureate. So I realised that there's a weight of expectation if you're going to work with words. That's what sparked my interest, my responsibility, and my guardianship of words as well, protecting certain words and promoting and dismissing others into history and the past. So anti-racist heroes are people that battle words, people that take that fight on. Probably Gilroy, a professor that talked about globalism and humanism and ideas and concepts beyond the genetic and the race type. So I like people who expand the diary. I've got a little poem. I might as well read that. All right, much more better. This is called Mixed Trace. Tracy and I had the same colour face. I was brown rich and she was mixed trace. Slower pace, our race was for last. They both used to call us half-caste. We didn't like our parents, we were mixed up blend, fighting both ends of the spectrum with two sides to defend. Jam English, zebra, 50-50, half-breed. So many labels, more than we need. Who are we was always the riddle, balanced on the fence and placed in the middle. I always want the white horse to win on the telly, champion the underdog, butterfly belly. Indians, Chinese, Caribbeans winning races, Irish, Scottish, so many lighter faces. I'm dual heritage, I'm from one race. Culture, heritage, nationality give place. Black versus white, then I'm the referee. Just how should people refer to me? See, race is problematic, so let's get it right. Let's replace race with the word phenotype. Simple, like pimple popping. Racism is an ideology that needs stopping. Let's stop and be more updated. Phenotype is about humans and how we are related. So I hear Birmingham have signed a pledge to become anti-racist by 2035. My response to that is, why 2035? That's what we it. That's stupid. That's paper promises. We are an anti-racist city. We practice that. We should be showing other societies how we can blend so many cultures, nationalities within these couple of square miles. We're not pledging to do not anything. We are already. So whoever's making this pledge, you should need to catch up. Come to the front line, see where cultures are mixing and being anti-racist day by day. And about pledging for 2030. That's even the next generation. That's a whole generation. In fact, that's annoyed me. 2035. You sure that's not no misprint? 10 years. Hang on, we're giving the youngsters the chance to vote in about 3 years' time. So our youngsters need to be educated representing this geography. And we're not going to give anti-racist practice. Oh, I think they should review some pledge.
Beyond racism, racism and beyond. Anti-racism has to be the norm. Let's build a city where everyone belongs. Beyond racism, racism and beyond. Anti-racism has to be the norm. A world of understanding, that's what we crave. From every corner, every land, a tapestry woven by every hand. Harmonious call, we rise and stand.